Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. So, Mango Hippie, I'm continuing on with Mango Hippie's request. This one is Australia's gambling game 2-Up is like a religion to remote outback town. So, I don't know anything about any of this. Apparently this is ABC Australia, and y'all know that I like that outfit, ABC Australia, because they do some good documentary shows, and to me they kind of keep the middle of the road. They don't try to tell you how to think, they just present the stuff and let you think about it. So I think that's what we need to do. Let's get into the intro and right into the video.
There's two in there, look.
At 93 years old, Reg Arthur has been around Kalgoorlie's 2-Up scene for longer than most.
Look at those. 2-Up is probably the fairest game in the land. You can't beat 2 pennies going up there, and only can come down heads or tails, or one of each, which means the spinner got to keep going until he gets a result.
He's been a punter in his youth and ran games as a ringmaster for decades.
The ring keeper, he will throw the coins in and call for a spinner. He might start in one corner and you can't go backwards, you go around in clockwise. You can't jump in and have 2 spins, it's got to go around the circle. Each spinner will spin until they make tails, or if he keeps heading them, which I've seen. One girl at one of our night games threw 19, and she was the worst spinner I've ever seen in my life. That's the most I've ever seen. I've seen 13 pair and quite a few others, but that's the most I've ever seen, but was the worst spinner.
Until July 1983, 2-Up was illegal. And Reg remembers when police raided the games.
I've been there when the cops come, and that's when I was young, and done a run-up.
But you had to do the 100-yard dash.
Oh yeah, I reckon Usain Bolt wouldn't have got a hold of me that day.
He's seen many fortunes won and lost.
The smart player will win his 200 or 300 and stop. If you stay there, well, you finish up without your boots. You've got to know how to play the game.
Known for his ability to spin a yarn, Reg remembers the day a spinner landed one of his pennies in a tree.
Probably in me mid-20s in those days, when pounds were pounds, and I was battling. I thought I'd go out and try and win a quid. And they had a big branch coming over the ring where they played, and old horse trainer called George Berry, a real character. He said, Reg, I'm going in for a spin for £1. Do you want to come with me? And I said, I'll have 10 bob on you. Anyhow, make a long story short, up he went, heads. Up again, heads. That 10 shilling became £2. He's got £4, I got 2. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going up again. I said, I'll go be up again. So with that, up he goes. 1 penny come down a head, and the other penny stayed up the tree. There was about 20 blokes out there, and they shook the shit out of that tree. You wouldn't believe it. No penny dropped. They tried again, no penny dropped. So he had to spin again. Flat tails. And about 20 minutes later, that penny fell down without a breath of wind and come ahead. And everybody just cracked up. But it was worth £4 to me and £8 to him. In those days, that wasn't a bad little, that'd be your wages, I reckon.
40 years ago, amendments to Western Australia's Police Act took effect, allowing the game commonly known as Bush 2-Up at Kalgoorlie to be conducted by 2 individuals, Jack Sheehan and Nick Turridge. The pair had run illegal 2-Up games since World War II. Today, Mr Sheehan's sons, Danny, Dave and Bill, are keeping the family tradition alive.
It's not as big a game now, you know, like in those days we used to play every day. But with the development of all sorts of things like internet gambling and stuff like that, we've only got really enough people to play once a week.
Danny Sheehan was ringmaster back then, and 40 years later, not much has changed.
Yeah, how many games I've been to, I don't know, mate, I don't know. I've lost count, I suppose, if you added it up. I mean, when you contacted me and said you want to do a story because it's been legalised 40 years, I thought, this bloke, there's something wrong with his head. I don't think we've been playing 40 years. I thought it was last week. But, yeah, no, 40 years has gone by.
In Kalgoorlie, two-up is akin to a religion. Every Sunday, people come to their church. We're about 7 kilometres east of the town centre. I was just speaking to a chap over there. He said it's like coming to church every Sunday.
Yeah, it pretty much is like a religion, yeah. And people are all sort of part of a family here, you know. It's a little regular cloud of regulars.
The iconic corrugated iron shed was built in 1958. Before that, the locations for games changed constantly, marked secretly, sometimes using a 44-gallon drum on the side of a road, which would lead punters down a bush track.
They used to play in all different various spots all over the place, and you know, they'd be getting raided here and raided there, and you know, quite a few funny stories out of that as well.
As Dave Sheehan explained, police knew they were fighting a losing battle.
Anyway, one time the policeman who was in charge here came along and said Dad to come in and see him, and he said, my boys have got better things to do than be chasing you around the bush everywhere. So that's where this site was actually agreed upon, and like I said, 1958.
Before it was legalised, police tolerated two-up much like Kalgoorlie's famous brothels.
Kalgoorlie was that sort of frontier, you know, western town that where it had an obvious brothels, Hay Street, and it had the two-up, both very illegal, but both tolerated, but it was Kalgoorlie.
So, I don't know anything about two-up, but this is interesting, and I'm going to go, not knowing anything, so y'all might laugh at me. So it looks, apparently, the X is on the back of these coins, and so I guess the what you're supposed to do in this game is have both heads up, and that's a winner. But you know, I guess the odds are with it being odd. You know, maybe one up and one down. I don't know, but that's apparently what looks like is going on here, and I don't know exactly. I guess there's a way you could learn how to flip it where your coins would turn exactly how you want them to. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's a pretty good story though.
Both very illegal, but both tolerated, but it was Kalgoorlie.
Kalgoorlie Boulders Mayor John Bowler says the game has heritage and tourism value.
Two-up is Australia's gambling game, and Kalgoorlie really is the home of two-up in Australia. I remember it was something adults did, that growing up as a young teenager you weren't allowed to go to the two-up, and then we sort of got the age of 18, 19. It was illegal anyway, so we went out there for the first time, and it was a whole new world. The characters, the excitement, the money lying on the ground, thousands of dollars just there, and if there was a bit of wind around, people would put the money under their feet. The tail better always held the money, and it was so exciting. It was nothing quite like it anywhere in the world.
The halcyon days have come and gone because, as I say, you limit a lot of stolen gold. A lot of gold that miners needed to sort of whitewash, or what do you call it, launder. The best way to do it was seen to be winning a lot of money at a two-up, you know. And so it was very hard for the police or taxation authorities to come down on you if you, Freddie Smith, he made a lot of money at the two-up, you know. That's why he bought that latest Holden car. But look, those days are gone, but it is a great game. It's a fair game. I hope it continues, and particularly continues during the annual race round.
The race round is Kalgoorlie Boulder's annual spring racing carnival and previously coincided with the World Two-Up Championships, which have not been held in many years. Dave Sheehan says the race round is by far the busiest time of year for two-up punters.
Well, there was one time Big Willie came through here. I think it was over the round and took the money up 100 metres up in the air. There was notes going through the bush. People chasing after it, but yeah, a lot of funny things.
The game's future is being taken on by Danny's son Jack.
Pretty nerve-wracking at first because a lot of pressure, but it gets a bit easier as you do it more. People are pretty passionate about it when they've got money involved, so pretty high stakes.
It's hoped he can continue the family tradition.
Hopefully, you know, who knows? We're just kind of living in the present, really. Yeah, we've got to keep it going as long as we can.
Does it feel like you're keeping your dad's memory alive to a degree? Is that part of it as well? I mean,
yeah, and a lot of the old blokes that used to come out here, yeah, exactly. Yeah. He'd probably still watching somewhere. Where else do you get a setting like this, you know? Out in the bush, because people come out, and where else do you get a place like this? Dad used to say this is a work of art. He said you got to be good enough to keep the weather off, but not so they want to pinch it. Yeah.
Wow. Man, I don't know anything about this game. It was an interesting story, and it's cool to see, you know, that the generation after generation after generation kind of picks up the slack and moves forward. I thought it was pretty cool, man. Thank you, Mango Hippie, for the request, and thank you, everybody, for showing up and spending your time here. That's going to do it for me, so till I see y'all again, I'll catch you down the road. Bye, y'all.